Wow, what an amazing fireside chat. And hello, Dr. Danielle. It's great to have you with us. And in this fireside chat, we're going to be talking about leadership and authority in contemporary academia. Dr. Danielle, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I am good. Hello there. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you as well. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are for the people that don't know who you are.
Most definitely. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Danielle Joy Davis. I am a full tenured professor at St. Louis University in the School of Education there. I also am the founder of the Circle of Excellence STEM program, which is a nationwide program that I have developed and have worked with students nationally and virtually in terms of science education, STEM education. So I'm excited to be here to share and discuss.
Absolutely, Dr. Danielle, and like I said, it's also great to see you again as well. But I really want to get into the discussion. Get into the nitty gritty, as they like to say. So, I want to start with the leadership, right? In terms of like what's most underappreciated today when it comes to leadership and authority in contemporary academia.
What's underappreciated, you said?
Yeah, so what's the most under like in forms of like literacy, right? What's the most underappreciated, when it comes to that side of things?
Okay, all right. Well, one thing that I think about if we're talking about, are you referring to STEM literacy? Are you referring to leadership and where we are
leadership? Like forms of literacy and leadership. Sorry, I need to be a bit more specific for you. Right.
Oh,
So
no,
the question is, what forms of literacy are most underappreciated in today's leadership conversations? Apologies about that.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I understand more. Thank you. Yes. Well, I think that today, in terms of leadership, I think that digital literacy in terms of how and when to apply new technology and even AI tools, it is new and developing in certain spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like technology is rapidly changing for all of us so quickly. And sometimes we can barely keep up, right? And even for
Yeah.
leaders are learning how to apply this type of technology, particularly the multiple types of AI technology, but not only just apply it, but to, particularly in education, applying it in ethical ways. I think that the hesitancy of leaders in higher education, at least, to apply it fully, right, is the
Mm.
hesitancy is to think about, okay, what are ethical considerations that we should think about as we apply the various technologies as a campus community and as we train our students to apply it as well in varying fields, right? So I think that that's something that is really an ongoing conversation, you know?
I agree, and do you think like within academia, like I notice there's a big push right on AI just in general, right? Get people up to speed, training people, etc. So, and this is not one of the questions that's pre-done, by the way. This is a question coming off the top of my head. When we're talking about in academia, do you think sometimes it could be one of two options? Number one is that professors are scared and worried, and they don't want to teach the raw things, and maybe they don't want to use AI, so they go back to the old school ways in doing it. Or two, could it even be that above, like for example, the boards and stuff you have, could it also be that they potentially, slow things down, so to speak, because they want to make sure that they do things right in the correct way. And that slow process obviously slows other things down within academia. Could it be, those two, or even could be something completely different?
I think, Russell, that you're right on point, that I have witnessed both occur in different contexts. So I think you're right on point with that assumption, However, the good thing is that there are efforts that I know that GatherVerse has featured pretty much for the last 12 months or so. There are efforts that GatherVerse has featured where basically the efforts are geared toward educating educators, educating leaders, right? And that I think those efforts are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, there are also efforts to educate business people. I know that I am a part of an organization for entrepreneurs. And that organization for entrepreneurs is called Every.Black. And a couple of weeks ago, that organization had an AI summit where basically for multiple hours on a Saturday, various entrepreneurs from all across the country gathered to learn about various AI technologies and how can they use those technologies to move their various businesses forward. So even though there's hesitancy, like you just mentioned, and even though that hesitancy can slow adoption in some spaces, not all spaces, but some spaces, there still are multiple efforts to promote education and understanding. So I think that that's exciting.
I totally agree. And how do we create, like, when we're talking to like leadership and stuff, how do we create that sort of safety, right, where like people are like safe and comfortable to learn about AI and becoming authority figures maybe within AI, etc. How do we, like, what behaviors, so to speak, help create that safety for them? Does that kind of like make sense?
Yes, that is an excellent question, Russell. And I will go again back to the organization I just mentioned. I think very highly of this organization, the entrepreneurial organization Every.Black. And I feel that my involvement in that organization has actually boosted my confidence in the use of AI. And you're probably
Okay.
wondering, well, what did they do to boost your confidence in
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I want some of that. Boost my
when
confidence.
all the other professors are trying to avoid it and don't want to talk about it, like what's the difference here? I think the difference here is that the organization has been very intentional over the last maybe year and a half or so in making sure that every single week, for bare minimum 10 minutes, every single week, there is some sort of AI education at every single weekly meeting. So every single weekly meeting, the entrepreneurs are either learning about a new AI technology, learning about its application, even learning about how people in other countries are applying AI. So I
Right.
think this consistent weekly sharing, so to speak, of everything AI has really boosted our confidence. In addition to that, the organization has offered like a type of AI tutorial sessions where you can come once a month. I'm sorry, at one point it was you could come once a week during a specific time in the week. And during that hour, basically you came in and the facilitator of that meeting would literally walk you through an AI technology and
Mhm.
help you personally apply that technology to your business in real time. So it's like it was literally like having an AI tutor right at your fingertips, you know? So I think that those types of practices, Russell, are something that can be adopted in other spaces as well, you know?
I completely agree, and also there's so many use cases in which AI covers as well. There's so many workflows that need to go on there, but I kind of want to I want to kind of just my last question for you, Dr. Danielle, is when we're talking about leadership, when we're talking about authority, when we're talking about like the real world, right? We're talking when we're using it every single day, and even academia too. How do we prepare ourselves for this endeavor? For example, in the previous roundtable, one of the things that they said was about critical thinking, being like foundational and fundamental to prepare yourself for the future. So, as a in leadership and authority, in academia, how do we prepare ourselves, or even as a professor, right, from your point of view, how do we prepare ourselves for that future?
Right, right. Well, Russell, I agree with the last set of panelists, the importance of critical thinking, the importance of us as human beings to constantly hone and to develop our own skills, right?
Mm,
I firmly believe and know, as you mentioned in the past panel discussion, that we have so many abilities as human beings that we haven't even tapped into.
true,
We
true.
haven't even figured it out yet, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, even though I see the value of AI, even I encourage students to use it as a tool. Yes, it's a creative tool that can move your work faster and further in so many different ways.
Mm.
But guess what? You have another tool, right, in your head, and to never abandon that tool.
That is so true.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, because I feel that it is actually my responsibility to train students to recognize the value of both
Mm.
personal and development, but actually also using the AI tools in strategic ways, and how to avoid using it as a crutch, because using it as a crutch unfortunately can end up hurting us in a variety of ways, right? And
So true, Danielle. Yeah.
that's what I want my students to be careful of, and that I'm always preaching in the classroom. I'm like, develop yourself, I, everything, physically, mentally, develop yourself, because at some point, you're going to have to come face to face with your clientele. You're going to have to come face to face in real time, in real life, with the community members that you are serving. And don't you want your representation online to be equivalent to what you are in real life? Like
100%.
in the spirit of authenticity and being genuine. Don't I want to cultivate my own personal speaking skills so that people, when they come to me in real life, can know that yes, this is my voice, yes, this is my mind, and I'm not relying upon some video AI tool to speak for me, that these are my gifts in real life, right? So
100%.
that's what I encourage students to understand and to honor.
I think first of all, I think that's amazing that you do that, and second of all, it's just you're so right. The brain, the critical thinking. We've got so much to discover in our human minds, but on that note, Dr. Danielle, we have run out of time, but I wanted to say a special thank you for you joining us for this fireside chat. And we really appreciate you spending time with us today on this amazing discussion. So thank you so much. And that is it for this fireside chat. Make sure you go and check out Dr. Danielle and follow her on LinkedIn. And on that note, I will see you very shortly. Our Gather was well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye, Dr. Danielle.
Thank you.
Oh, and on that note, I thought we was going to have a nice transition there. But on that note, that is it for the GatherVerse Education Crisis Day 1. What an amazing first day of the summit. And we've got day 2 to come tomorrow. There has been a lot discussed today, from critical thinking skills to the future of education, to even the past of education, to even what you can do now. So really excited about what happened today, and there is so much to come still for day 2 tomorrow. And I just want to say also a personal thank you to each and every one of our panelists today. Also a personal thank you to each and every one of you for watching, for listening, if you're working right now, or if you're watching at GatherVerse.live and various social streams as well. We really appreciate everything that you support and everything that you guys support with us here at GatherVerse. And I think that is it for today. So on that note, I'm going to round things up, and there is, like I said, much more to come tomorrow for day 2. So on that note, we really appreciate you. And from everyone here at GatherVerse and the team, it's been a fantastic day 1. See you tomorrow. Bye.
He's on a drug. mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. Going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know